Once upon a time, in a peaceful little village, there lived a sweet young girl named Cinderella. She had sparkling eyes, gentle hands, and a heart filled with kindness. Everyone who met her could feel her warmth. But her life was not easy. After her father passed away, Cinderella was left to live with her stepmother and two stepsisters. They were selfish and unkind. "Cinderella, sweep the floor. Cinderella, wash my dresses. Cinderella, polish my shoes." Day after day, Cinderella worked from sunrise until night. She swept, cooked, washed, and mended clothes, while her stepsisters sat in silk gowns and laughed at her dusty apron. Even though she felt lonely, Cinderella never complained. She whispered to herself, "Someday, my kindness will shine brighter than all this sadness." One bright morning, the sound of trumpets filled the air. A royal messenger rode into the village and announced, "By order of the king, a grand ball will be held at the palace tomorrow night. Every young lady in the land is invited, for the prince shall choose his bride." The stepsisters squealed with excitement. They dreamed of dancing with the prince and wearing glittering jewels. They rushed to their rooms, tossing clothes everywhere. "I need ribbons for my hair," cried one. "And I need gold lace for my dress," said the other. Poor Cinderella also dreamed of going. She wanted just one night of happiness, but her stepmother frowned. "You at the palace? You will stay here and finish the chores." Her stepsisters laughed cruelly. "A servant like you could never dance with the prince." Cinderella's heart ached, but she stayed quiet and helped them prepare. She brushed their hair, tied their gowns, and watched as they left for the ball, leaving her alone in the quiet, dark kitchen. Cinderella sat by the fireplace, tears rolling down her cheeks. "If only I could go, just once," she whispered. Suddenly, a soft glow filled the room. A kind voice said, "Why are you crying, dear child?" Before Cinderella's eyes appeared her fairy godmother, holding a shining wand. "I want to go to the ball," Cinderella said softly, "but I have nothing to wear and no way to get there." The fairy godmother smiled. "You are kind and gentle, my dear, and kindness always deserves a little magic." With a graceful wave of her wand, poof, a pumpkin in the garden turned into a glittering golden carriage. Poof, the mice from the corner turned into strong white horses. Poof, Cinderella's rags became a dazzling gown with glass slippers that sparkled like diamonds. "Oh, it's beautiful," Cinderella gasped. The fairy godmother nodded. "But remember, this magic will only last until midnight. At the last stroke of 12, everything will return to as it was." Cinderella promised to remember, climbed into the carriage, and off she went to the palace. The palace glittered with candles, and music floated through the air. Noble ladies and gentlemen danced, laughed, and bowed. But when Cinderella entered the ballroom, silence fell. Everyone turned to look at the mysterious young lady in the shimmering gown. The prince himself stepped forward and chanted. "May I have this dance?" he asked, bowing politely. Cinderella smiled shyly and placed her hand in his. They danced gracefully across the marble floor. The prince laughed with joy, and Cinderella felt like she was living in a dream. Her stepsisters did not even recognize her. They only stared with envy. Hour after hour, the prince and Cinderella danced, talked, and laughed. Cinderella felt happier than ever before. But suddenly, dong, 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 the great clock began to strike midnight. "Oh no!" Cinderella cried. She remembered her fairy godmother's warning. She rushed out of the ballroom, her gown glittering in the moonlight. As she ran down the palace stairs, one of her glass slippers slipped off her foot and was left behind. The prince called after her, but she was gone. By the time she reached home, her gown had turned back into rags, the horses into mice, and the carriage into a pumpkin. Only one glass slipper remained in her hand. The next day, the prince declared, "I will marry the young lady whose foot fits this glass slipper." He traveled through every village, every home. Many tried to wear it, duchesses, noble women, and even Cinderella's stepsisters, but the slipper was too small for them all. Finally, the prince arrived at Cinderella's house. Her stepsisters eagerly pushed forward. "Try me first," said one. "No, me first," said the other. They squeezed and shoved, but the slipper would not fit. Just as the prince turned to leave, Cinderella stepped forward quietly. "May I try?" she asked gently. Her stepmother scoffed. "She's only a servant." But the prince allowed her. Cinderella placed her foot into the slipper, and it fit perfectly. The prince's eyes shone with joy. "It's you! You are the one I have been searching for." Soon after, Cinderella married the prince in a grand ceremony. Bells rang, flowers bloomed, and the whole kingdom celebrated. But Cinderella did not forget her past. She forgave her stepmother and sisters, showing them kindness even though they had been cruel. She became a gentle, loving princess, admired by all. From that day forward, Cinderella lived happily ever after. She ruled not with jewels or riches, but with love and kindness.